Thank you very much. And once again, let me take this opportunity without wasting any time. And then today, this is a MATRIC+NATED specialist, your channel. And then, at a medical R.S.A guideline. So ensure that everything that we are going, and then you are ensuring that you are taking notes as you progress on, and ensure language that is used here. And then remember, this municipality, it deals with how you administer the municipality. The minister, the administration is taking place where? In the third sphere of government, which is a municipality. So we'll take questions memo with they will also form part and parcel of our exam and the test series that we are going to write. We're talking about the development of local authorities. So please, talking about local authorities, we are talking of the municipality. And then I'm sure that in your area, and what are they actually doing in the society. So you must remember that the municipality is the smallest sphere of government, and then they ensure that they run day by day of activities of in terms of the waste products, the electricity that is given, the hospital services. So this is a subject whereby we are going to deal more. We are going to talk more of the municipality. Where I am staying, it is now in Bloemfontein in South Africa, and my municipality, it is called Mangaung Metropolitan Municipality. So we use it as MMM Municipality, Mangaung Metropolitan Municipality. And then you must take note that there are three types of municipality. It's a local municipality, and then we've got a district municipality, and then we are having a metropolitan municipality. So the metropolitan is the biggest municipality, and then the local municipality. Okay, without any wasting time, let us go and right away to have the show rocking. We will talk more in activity one, what can be asked and what can be derived from. They would say, remember, the graphic application below, it indicates the acts. Remember, when we are talking where in the central government by bills of parliament. So this act must be passed on to ensure that it is applicable. So we are saying these particular acts were promulgated. Please take note of the word promulgated. It means now it was published. Something that was published, we are saying it is promulgated for the development of local government in South Africa. So we are saying that the citizens that are closer to the municipality, because of they are paying a direct tax. So we're saying in this case, this having the bylaws show that there is a development, and the way development, there is a growth in terms of the economy, and then there is services that are okay. Then here, remember, I've said that we are dealing with mostly acts. So there are few acts that you must know that you can be asked about them in the examination. And one of the acts, we are saying that Act of 1996, Act of, there is a dash here in A, and we are saying that the purpose of this act, what is it of that particular act? And then let us go to our answer board. We can say here, number A, this 96 Act, it's a Constitution of South African Act of 1996. Remember that our rights and regulations, they were constituted where? In the Constitution of South Africa, which is the highest supreme law. And then that was an Act of 108 in 1996. That 1996, what act is it? And then is Act of 10. Number B, the purpose of this act. And then we say it allows general election. So remember that in the olden days, there were no election. It was only national party that was in power. But now, after we have constituted it down by means of legislation, it allowed people to ensure that there is general election and the stipulated functions and power. And then let's move on again. We will see that we are having some acts. So we are saying this purpose of this act that we have been talking about, we have discussed, it is having 4 branches that are subdivided into acts and the purposes. So we are saying this act that we have talked about, it has 4 branches. Why does it have 4 branches? Because of it was revisited to revisit it. When the purpose of the act does not fulfill the society, we need to revisit the act and ensure that we are modifying it when times is going on. And then we saw that in 1996, there was a loophole in this act, and then we had to make what we call amendment of legislation. The way to amend it is to change something. So there were amendments. So I will write A here to ensure that this line whole up until 2004, these were amended legislation, although they derive from 1996. 1997, there was an act again in regards to the development of the municipality, and then it was C, and then D, it was the purpose. So let us check now what the government entails. So in 1997, organized the local government, and this was Act 52. In Act 52, there was an organization in the government, and the purpose was to reappealing. So the way to reappeal, it is to revisit again when we have taken a decision and then you are not satisfied. You need to reappeal for racial organization and allowing for nomination of the South African Local Government Association, which is known as SALGA, of members of municipal council as representative of the National Council of Provinces, which is known as an NCOP. So we have National Council of Provinces. And how many provinces do we have in South Africa? We have 9. So each province will have one representative here. People were not satisfied. We went on again to say there was an introduction of law in local development of municipality. And then there was a purpose again of this particular. And then 1998, this was, and white paper, it has the legislation of government, and its purpose was to framework for the new local government in South Africa. And then if ever we move on later on again in 1998, there was an act again which derived from this act. It was further stated within the same law in H and G. G and H, we would see that in 1998, what happened? And then there was a local government municipal demarcation. So what does the word demarcation mean? Demarcation, it means a certain place where people live. That is a point of demarcation. And it was an Act 27 of 1998 within the same year. So when they saw that everything should be published and there should be framework for the local government, the other point was to ensure that people, they stay where there is a certain boundary. So a demarcation, it can be this area. So you are saying other people, they will live in this area. And this area is known as perhaps Gauteng. This is a point of demarcation. And the purpose, procedures was to determine, the purpose was to ensure that the government or the local government, it determined the municipal boundaries to say this is goes to the region of the Mangaung Metropolitan. This is the Vaal River in terms of the municipality. And so all these municipalities that we are talking about, yeah. And it went 1999, still busy with these boundaries. And then 2000, there was what we call the local government. The local government enacted the Municipal System Act. So there was a Municipal System Act when 32 of 2000. So let us go there. So you can see that there was an act here. And then this is for 2000. And then we want now the purpose of it. There are reasons or purposes. Why does that law exist? So there was municipal system in 32, Act 32 of 2000. And the purpose was, it focuses on the community participation. Good people, we must go to all our meetings that are relating to the national parties. The IDP, Integrated Development Plan, that is one of the objectives of the municipality to ensure a jurisdiction of that particular area. The performance management, the local administration to control the local credit control and debt collection from the citizens. Remember, the citizens, they may owe the municipality, collect that particular. If ever we are going on again, we would see that amendment. Remember, I call it A because of it is an amendment. And then we are saying, yeah, in 2003, there was an act here, which was passed. And then there was a purpose of that act. Let's go there. In 2003, you see that the local government ensured that the municipal finance management. Just take note. There was a collection of what? Of debt here. And when that debt has been collected, what must happen? Because of it's a public money, it means that debt must be managed properly. By who? By the CFO, a chief accounting officer, and then by the municipal manager. That particular board must be appointed to the other government, which can be the provincial, and is an Act 56 of 2003. So you need to know the act, you need to know how it was passed and why it was passed. And the purpose is to secure sound and sustainable management of fiscal and financial affairs of the municipality by establishing norms and standards. Then lastly, in 2004, the local government passed the municipal property rates. So these rates, property rates, it means when you are having a house, they value your house, and then they say there is this amount that you can pay in your house. So those are what you call municipal property rates, and is an Act 6 of 2004. And then the main aim was to prescribe procedures relating to property valuation in the municipality. So your bigger your house is, the more money. So you need to know all these acts here. They can go up until for 20 marks. Okay. There are some other aspects that we need. Let us move on, and then we try to consider them. And then as we are moving on, we are also ensuring that we are studying this hard, and then we are taking notes. The second question that can derive there, you'd see that it's a question: identify all the pieces of legislation that contributed to infringement, the suppression of rights. It means infringement, the rights were not freely flowed, and then of South African people that are living there. We are saying that there was a suppression in 1947, system of segregation of racial grounds and removing black into the township. So remember, that was an apartheid legislation. And then in 1950, the Group Areas Act of 41 of 1950, it focused on moving black people to certain areas where there was less developed and unprivileged. And then in 1960, the Colored and the Indian committees was established as an advisory body to the government. So they were advising the government on how to manage that. And then in 1961, establishment of a Republic of South Africa on the 31 May through the adopting of Constitution of Act 32 of 1961, the local authorities managed by the provincial administration. If we are moving on again, we'll see that in 1971, there was a Bantu Affairs Administration, the Act 45 on 1971, under which an administration board is appointed to manage the township. And then in 1977, there was a community council in township with limited powers and resources. And then lastly, in 1982, there was a black local authorities replaced by the community council. You need to know all this implementation. Okay, right. If ever we are moving, this question can be asked to say, identify all pieces of legislation. What is legislation? These are laws. A law is a legislation that assisted the traditional, the transformational of local authorities to democratic institutions that are accessible and affordable. So we want laws which allowed us to transform in terms of being better, founded at different years, like in 1983, the Constitution Act of 111 of 1983 allowed the first step towards a firm of a political reform. And then later on in 1983, there was a promotion of Local Government Affairs Act 91 of 1983 that allowed the council to coordination of local government affairs. The way to coordinate it is to control, to put them at rest together. And then later on, the UDF was established to target the PLA with higher rent and service charge. And then in 1985, the Regional Service Council Act 108 of 1995, through which the government tried to diffuse the black uprising with the intergovernmental grants through the R.S.A and the JSB. In 1992, we are saying the SANCO began to talk with the National Party to study the process of overall restructuring and the transformation. And then in 1993, there was a further development which local government started to negotiate with this forum, the LGNF, established to provide equal and acceptable services to all the principals of one community and at a one tax base. That led, and then there was an interim constitution. Please take note, the word interim, we mean that the constitution is just for temporary. And it was an act of 200 in 1993, which allowed the democratic election and the transformation of local authorities in their autonomous body. And then we knew that in 1994, there was a vote of election. So as you can see that there is development that has been occurred. And then we can see that under the same year, the Local Government Transition Act of 209 of 1993, the LGTA, and it was amended again in 1995 and 1996 because of the loopholes to facilitate the transformation of the local government. And then in 1996, the Constitution of Republic of South Africa, Act 108 in 1996, allowed the general election, stipulated and functioning of the powers of the local authorities. And then we are saying in 1997, organized local government, the Act 52 of 1997, repealing the racial organization and allowing for the nomination of the SALGA, members of the municipal council, and the representative to the NCOP, which is a National Council of Provinces. And then in 1998, we had what we call white paper on local government containing the framework of the government. So it was published where in the white paper, we are calling it a white paper. That is where we were publishing our information. And then we are saying local government, we are talking about the Municipal Demarcation Act of 27 in 1998. It focuses on the procedure that had to be adhered to and followed in order to determine the boundaries. And then the local government further again, the Municipal Structure Act, it came with the act of this in 1998, and the establishment, the type and the categories of municipality. And then in 2000, we had again the local government in terms of ensuring that there is a Municipal System Act of 32 in 2000, which focuses on the community. So we are saying that the community must participate, must take decision, and then there must be an IDP. This is an integrated development plan. So this one is a 5-year for the municipality, the plan that he wants to do in his community. And then we're saying that there are relevant stakeholders, the councillors, the people, also the central government can also be part of the integrated development plan, the performance management. How are these officials that have been entrusted with power and authority are functioning? And then we've got the local administration. We are saying that everything that is locally, it must be controlled. The fees, they must be taken from the citizens, and we make sure that we deliver the services correctly. And then the credit control and the debt collection must be maintained. And every year there was a transformation which was occurring continuously, so up until to the present generation, which is of the municipality, is coming in a far long to ensure that we discuss about the objectives and the goals of the municipality. All right. Okay, and then we are moving again to the list of objectives of the local government as specified where we are saying objectives are goals. And number one, it is to provide the democratic and accountable government. For democratic, we are saying that the people, whom are the citizens, they've got the right to choose their own government by means of vote. Number two, to provide services that are suitable. If we are moving, we are needing water should be there. If we need, as a community, clinics, public clinics should be there. If we need sewage removal, it must be there. And the economy must develop. And then to promote a safe and healthy environment, that is another aspect. And then lastly, to encourage the environment of the community and community organization in the affairs of local government. So these poor citizens, us, we must also be established in this particular government. So we must have a say on what matters pertain in the government, because of we form part and parcel of this government. Just a quick section whereby we are having the answers, and then we are matching the column. Please take note that this one is very important because of it also appears in the examination. And then 1.1, the chairman of the first rural council. We want to know that the chairman of the first rural municipal council was who. And then 1.2, first appointed rural council. So we wanted the chairman and the first appointed rural council. 1.1, we can see there, the answer is L. And 1.1.2, the answer there is I. So L and I, we can go to them and check. L and I, we are saying here, this is L. The question there, 1.1, this one is Len Drost, and then the other one is I, is Henne Manden, the Yemen Randen. That is the first appointed rural council. If we move on, we are talking about what was instituted by the British government to Cape Town. Remember those British, they went to Cape Town and then received directives from their government of 17. So we are saying directives are orders. 1.1.3 and 1.1.4. 1.1.3 is J, 1.1.4 M. So we are going to see now J and M. And then J, we are saying this is the Beggar Senate. It was instituted by the British government to Cape Town. So we are saying it is a beggar, a Senate, which is J. And then we are having the directives, 1.1.4. The directives, we are saying that is number M. So the directives are the orders. And then we go to number M. It is the governor. Number M here, we are saying M, the governor. 1.1.5, the first white farmers in Cape Colony and the first request for political reform in South Africa. 1.1.5, 1.1.6. And then we are saying is O and P. 1.1.5 O. 1.1.5, we are saying it's O. And then 1.1.6, there is P. So the O is the free beggars. And then the P is Council of 17. So if we are moving on, we can see that we have to move to the name of the Urban Municipal Council, and the formation of all municipal council of all provinces was based on this piece of legislation. 1.1.7, 1.1.8. Can check 1.1.7 is B, and then 1.1.8 is T. So the B, we are saying that Cape Town. So the name of the first urban of this municipal council is B. It was in Cape Town. And then T, we are saying here, the transformation, it refers to the administration boards. 1.1.9 and 1.1.10. And we can check here 1.1.9 and 1.1.10 is U and F, UF. U and F. Okay, let us just zoom it. And then we've got U and F. There's U is black local authorities. And then there's F is the Constitution, 1110 of 1983. So we are saying through these boards, the responsibility of the township was taken away from the council. And this act was the first attempt at political reform. And then we are moving to 1.1.10. We are saying this act was a first attempt at a political reform. 1.1.11, discussion process of the future structure and the nature of the local government. 1.1.11 is V and 1.1.12 is Z. This one we are saying is V and this one is Z. So we are saying here the discussion process, which is V. We are saying this is a white paper on local government where it was published. And then Z, this act stopped the racial based on the organization. We are saying Organized Local Government Act of 52 of 1997. If we are moving on, this is an organization and transformation of the local government. This act forced on social and economic upliftment available and affordable. So we are saying 13 and 14. 13 you would see there is BB and 14 is X. Here we are saying BB, and then we are saying here is X. So if we are going on, we would see the X here that we are talking about is the Municipal System Act of 32, which is published in 2000. If ever we are moving on again, you can see that 1.1.15 and 16, this act allowed transformation, local authorities in autonomous. The word autonomous, it means standing all alone. And then 1.1.16, negotiating a body between the NP, which is the National Party, and the ANC for the interim dispensation for the local government. So we are saying 15 and 16, that is G and A. So we are saying is G and A. So G, when we are reading the statement there at G, we would see that this is a constitution at 200 of 1993. And we are reading the statement there. AA, the SAMCO. If we are moving on again on 17 and 18, this act focuses on the procedure to determine the municipal boundaries. And this act protects the rights of all communities. 17 and 18. 17 is Y and D. Y and H. So let us quickly read there. And why this one is a Municipal Demarcation Act that is coming on the act and the procedures. And then we've got H, the rights of the communities. H, we can see that is the Constitution of 108 of 1996. Moving on the last 19 and 20, after this act was enacted, South Africa was no longer ruled by the other country. Through this act, South Africa became the republic. So we are saying that is 19 and 20, we are saying is D and E. There is D, and there is E. D, we are talking of saying this is an African Act of 1909. And then 20, we are saying is E. And then E, we are talking of the Constitution 32 of 1961. You need to at least study those and know it very well. For me and my people, we are saying thank you very much for your time and ensure that you also connect to those that are concerned. Thank you very much on our channel. Have a nice and prosperous day.